Hold up, did you really think the love and hip-hop universe was done serving scandal? 'Cause baby, what just dropped in court has reality TV fans, hip-hop heads, and even your cousin who don't watch TV screaming. Chrissy Lampkin, the queen of side-eyes, stilettos, and dramatic ultimatums, is now one step away from becoming the queen of cell block C and Y. Oh, just a tiny little thing called perjury. Yep, word on the street is she got up in front of a judge, looked him dead in the eye, and swore she never had an inappropriate relationship with Camron. Camron, as in Mr. Dipset himself. As in her man Jim Jones's brother from another. As in the one man who was never supposed to end up tangled in her sheets or her lies. So now, the internet is on fire. The courtroom is buzzing, and insiders are leaking tea faster than Chrissy can say, "I'm not the one." What really went down behind closed doors? Did Chrissy play the whole Dipset fam for fools? And is she about to lose everything trying to cover up a secret affair that might have been hotter than her whole reality show career? Stay tuned, because this mess is just getting started. So let's get into it, because this mess has officially crossed over from reality TV drama to felony-level chaos. Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who practically invented the term love and hip-hop legend, is now facing the kind of spotlight no influencer wants: the harsh, unfiltered glare of a courtroom. And it's not because of another screaming match or a missing engagement ring. No, this time it's serious. The streets are talking. The blogs are buzzing. And every gossip page from New York to LA is stuck on one name: Camron. That's right, Camron, Harlem's own, Jim Jones's brother in bars. The same man who's been a fixture in Dipset for decades. Allegedly, he's been a whole lot more than just a friend to Chrissy behind closed doors. And now, thanks to a little thing called perjury, the drama isn't just spilling, it's boiling over. See, Chrissy didn't just deny the rumors. She denied them under oath, in court, on the record, with a straight face and a fresh weave. And that's where the real trouble starts. Because it's one thing to lie on Instagram, but lying to a judge, that's not just messy, it's criminal. Word is, Chrissy swore to the court that there was no affair, no sneaky meets, no blurred lines between her and Camron. She claimed she was nothing but loyal to Jim. Painted herself as a victim of haters and gossip bloggers, and tried to spin the whole thing like it was just another day in the reality TV circus. But then came the evidence. According to courtroom leaks and some very talkative insiders, prosecutors were sitting on receipts so wild they could shut down the whole Dipset reunion tour. We're talking video footage, grainy, yes, but damning nonetheless. Footage allegedly showing Chrissy and Camron getting real close during what was supposed to be a business dinner. But let's be clear, nothing about the way they were whispering in that corner booth looked like business. Not unless business meetings now include lip locks, thigh grabs, and lingering glances over overpriced cocktails. And that was just the beginning. The prosecution also brought out a string of alleged text messages filled with pet names, secret rendezvous locations, and a whole lot of keep this between us energy. The kind of messages that make even the most loyal fans start side-eyeing their faves. Jim Jones, who was reportedly in the back of the courtroom during all of this, couldn't even lift his head. Sources say he sat there stunned, rubbing his temples while Chrissy stared dead ahead like her whole brand wasn't unraveling right there in front of the jury. And let's not act surprised. Chrissy has always been about that bold, confrontational energy. Remember when she punched Kimbella on national television? Or when she practically forced Jim to propose after dragging him for half a decade? Chrissy's always been a main character, loud and unapologetic. But this is next level. Because while reality TV is all about the spectacle, the courtroom is about facts. And the facts, allegedly, are stacking up against her like unpaid Bravo checks. It turns out this so-called business relationship with Camron might have been going on longer than anyone thought. Some insiders claim the two were meeting for years, not months. Private trips under fake business names. Hotel stays funded by ghost companies. Drivers who were paid extra to keep their mouths shut. And one source who claims to be a former assistant said they once saw Camron slip Chrissy a diamond necklace in the back of a black SUV while Jim was on tour. Whether that's true or not, it didn't stop the internet from running wild. Social media exploded. Memes everywhere. Fake tweets, fake court sketches, fake Camron reaction GIFs people couldn't eat fast enough. Some fans were defending Chrissy like their lives depended on it, claiming she's being set up. That Jim probably already knew, and this whole case is just another example of the system targeting successful black women. But others, oh, they dragged her hard, saying this is exactly the kind of mess she's always brought into Jim's life, saying Camron broke the code, saying this is karma, finally catching up to someone who always thought she was untouchable. Just when it felt like the courtroom chaos couldn't get any worse, it did, because prosecutors weren't done, not even close. They had what they called a surprise witness, someone who knew everything. The entire courtroom held its breath when the doors opened. And what happened next? Well, that's where things really took a turn. The entire courtroom went dead silent as the mystery witness stepped forward. You could feel the tension in the air like a storm was about to hit. No one was breathing. Phones were clenched. Bloggers had their thumbs ready. And then, the figure removed their sunglasses, dropped a thick folder on the witness stand, and looked straight at the judge. According to insiders, that witness was none other than a former Dipset tour manager, someone who had been in the shadows for years. But clearly had been taking notes the whole time. This wasn't some bitter ex or fame-hungry assistant. Was someone who had been in the rooms, on the flights, handling the logistics of Dipset's empire and apparently the secrets that came with it. They didn't speak with emotion. They spoke like a person reading off a grocery list. Calm, cold, and devastating. They told the court that Chrissy and Camron had been hiding their relationship for years. Not weeks, not months, years. That whole time Jim Jones was busy trying to revive the Dipset brand, making music, doing shows, and trying to give Chrissy the lifestyle she demanded. These two were allegedly sneaking off under fake names, booking hotel rooms under aliases, and even traveling together under the pretense of business. The witness laid out receipts, actual receipts, wire transfers, texts, voice memos. There were screenshots of emails between Chrissy and venue managers, booking agents, even private jet companies' conversations that made it clear these weren't innocent business trips. They were fully orchestrated affairs happening in plain sight, just masked behind the noise of the music industry. The most chilling part, according to the witness, Jim Jones had no clue. None. He was so deep in his own hustle, so focused on keeping everything running that he didn't even notice the quiet betrayal happening inches away from him. That detail hit the courtroom hard. Journalists scribbled like their pens were on fire. The judge was visibly stiff. Chrissy, she didn't flinch, stared straight ahead like a woman bracing for an earthquake. But it wasn't over. The witness then claimed that several Dipset business deals had been quietly compromised because of this affair. Allegedly, Chrissy had used her access to Dipset's financial network to reroute money not for personal gain, but to pay off a private investigator who had been threatening to expose her and Camron. You heard that right? According to leaked court documents, Chrissy allegedly borrowed over $250,000 under the guise of a renovation loan, then funneled that money toward keeping their little secret buried. And if that sounds like something straight out of a Netflix crime doc, that's because it might be. One source even hinted that the prosecution is considering additional charges: fraud, racketeering, maybe even conspiracy. The court hasn't confirmed it yet, but the rumors alone were enough to send social media into another spiral. Screenshots from the courtroom started popping up on Twitter and Instagram. Sketches of Chrissy looking pale, stiff, and Cold instantly went viral. People started dubbing her the Ice Queen of Love and Hip Hop and dragging her through digital. Hell, one meme showed Chrissy in an orange jumpsuit with a caption that read, "From diamonds to defendants." Another fake magazine cover said, "Lies, lip gloss, and lockup. The Chrissy Lampkin story." And while the internet was having a field day, Camron, not a word, no statement, no post, no interview. It's complete radio silence while the whole world kept saying his name. But according to insiders, that silence wasn't because he was unbothered. It was because he was being prepped to take the stand. That's right, day 7 of the trial came with another bombshell. Chrissy's legal team called Camron as a surprise witness, and let me tell you, the reaction was nuclear. Cameras weren't allowed in the courtroom, but that didn't stop thousands of fans from lining up outside the courthouse, hoping to catch a blurry clip of Camron in his signature hoodie being escorted by security. And when he finally entered the courtroom and took the stand, every journalist in that room leaned forward. They didn't want to miss a syllable. The attorney asked the question that had been hovering over the entire trial like a storm cloud. "Mr. Giles, did you have an inappropriate relationship with Ms. Lampkin?" Silence. Pure, agonizing silence. You could hear the clock ticking. Then Camron leaned into the mic, smirked, and replied, "Define inappropriate." The courtroom erupted not just in sound, but in energy. The judge slammed the gavel, demanding order, but it was already too late. The damage had been done. That one sentence, vague and slick, hit harder than a full confession. And even though Camron never technically admitted to anything, he also didn't deny it. Not clearly, not convincingly, and that's all the jury needed to hear. Chrissy's defense started to crumble. You could feel it in the air. Her credibility, already on life support, flatlined the moment Camron opened his mouth. The prosecution jumped on it like sharks in blood. They brought out more texts, more emails, more shady hotel bookings. Everything they had left, they dumped into the case like lighter fluid on a bonfire. Chrissy looked hollow, her trademark. Attitude completely gone. No sass, no comebacks. It's just quiet panic. Jim Jones, noticeably absent that day, was allegedly nowhere to be found. Insiders claimed he had packed a bag and left their shared New Jersey home just hours after the footage of Chrissy and Camron was played in court. One source said Jim looked broken. Not angry, not yelling. Just ... like something in him died. And while no official statement came from Jim, his silence was deafening. Fans started speculating whether he'd speak out. Whether he'd release a song. Whether he'd disappear for good. Everyone had theories, and none of them were pretty. The trial had officially morphed into a circus of public shame, internet hysteria, and legal fire. By the time the court recessed for the day, it was clear Chrissy wasn't just fighting a scandal. She was fighting for her freedom. And what happened next would only turn the flames into a full-blown explosion. The courtroom was a furnace of anticipation. As everyone returned the next day for what would become the most unforgettable moment in Chrissy Lampkin's scandalous saga. The judge entered, stone-faced, unimpressed by the cameras flashing outside or the digital circus unfolding online. Chrissy sat rigid, shoulders tight, face drained of the glamour she once flaunted like a designer bag. Gone were the lashes, the attitude, the diva energy. All that remained was a woman, cornered, exposed, and out of options. Jim Jones was still missing in action. No show, no call, no cryptic Instagram caption. Camron had vanished too, slipping out the back door the moment his testimony ended, as if he hadn't just flipped the entire narrative on its head with one sly remark. And then it happened. The judge cleared his throat and began reading the verdict with all the weight of a guillotine blade. Ms. Lampkin, the court finds you guilty of perjury and obstruction of justice. The words hit the courtroom like a slap. There was no shock left, only confirmation. The prosecution's mountain of receipts, the shady messages, the hush money trail. And Camron's coy wordplay had done enough to bury whatever was left of Chrissy's version of the truth. Her lawyers begged for leniency, citing emotional distress, her so-called charitable work, even her years spent as a fan favorite on reality TV, but the judge was unmoved. "You flaunted your influence and treated this courtroom like it was just another reunion special," he said coldly. "And now, you're going to learn that the justice system doesn't care about your follower count." Then came the sentence 12 months in jail, 5 years of probation, and a mandatory round of community service. The gasps in the gallery were loud enough to rattle the windows. Chrissy didn't speak. She didn't cry. She didn't even blink. But behind that glassy stare, insiders say she was falling apart. One source claimed her team had been spiraling for days, desperate for Camron to release a statement clearing her name, but he'd gone ghost. Another alleged Jim Jones had changed his number and was refusing to speak with her entirely. And the public. Oh, they were having a field day. Memes exploded across every platform. Chrissy's courtroom sketch was edited onto the Love and Hip Hop logo, rebranded as Lies and Lockup. The Chrissy Chronicles. Fake tweets from celebrities poured in. Imaginary Erica Mena allegedly wrote, "Told y'all, the streets always talk." Even late-night comedians jumped on the scandal. One joking, Chrissy wanted a ring, but all she got was an ankle monitor. But wait gets even messier. Within 24 hours of the verdict, whispers began that VH1 was quietly developing a 2-part docuseries chronicling Chrissy's legal downfall. The working title: From Diamonds to Defendants, the Chrissy Lampkin Story. Allegedly, producers had been working in secret, collecting behind-the-scenes footage, post-verdict interviews, and possibly even jailhouse confessionals. And the fans were split. Some claimed the whole thing was a setup, a federal hit job on the Dipset legacy. "This is bigger than Chrissy," one viral post read. "They're coming for the whole Harlem Empire." But others weren't buying the conspiracy. They said Chrissy played stupid games and won herself a very stupid prize. As for Jim Jones, he was still missing from the public eye. His last known post before disappearing into silence was a pitch-black screen with white letters that read, "Sometimes silence says it all." That post became the new obsession of fans and gossip pages alike. Was he done with Chrissy for good? Was he heartbroken? Was he plotting a diss track? Or just done with the whole reality show circus entirely? Nobody knew. He popped back up on Instagram a week later, sitting courtside at a Knicks game, holding a soda, smiling like nothing happened. The caption, "Still winning." That post detonated the internet. The audacity, disrespect, but also the pure Camron-level nonchalance that fans have come to expect. Chrissy, meanwhile, was scrambling. Sources say she was planning to appeal the verdict, blaming celebrity bias for her conviction and claiming she never got a fair trial. But the court of public opinion had already spoken, and it was brutal. YouTube lawyers reel and fictionalized every second of the case. TikTok theories spun wildly out of control. Reddit threads speculated on everything from a federal RICO case to Chrissy writing a tell-all book behind bars. And then, just when the story looked like it might die down, another rumor ignited the fire all over again. Allegedly, federal investigators had quietly begun reviewing the financial trail surrounding Chrissy's hush money payments. Word on the street was that money moved in ways that didn't just break laws, they broke patterns. Shell companies, off-the-books deposits, undocumented. Wire transfers. It was enough to suggest that Chrissy's courtroom drama might just be the tip of an iceberg the size of Dipset's entire business portfolio. One anonymous source close to the investigation whispered, "This isn't over. Not even close." Chrissy's case could be the entry point into something much bigger. Which leads us to the final burning question. Was this whole thing really about a forbidden romance? Or was it just the first domino in the collapse of a legacy built on street fame, loyalty, and smoke-filled rooms? The Dipset empire, once known for its brotherhood and flashy Harlem swagger, now looks like a fractured mess. Camron, silent. Jim, gone. Chrissy, locked up, and the fans still binge-watching every second like it's the final season of a show they never wanted but can't stop watching. As Chrissy was led out of the courtroom in cuffs, still wearing designer shades and clinging to the last scrap of defiance she had left, the world knew one thing for sure: this wasn't the end. This was just the beginning. Because in a scandal this big, there's always another leak, another twist, another player waiting to step forward and reveal that maybe, just maybe, this story still has a few secrets left to tell. So now, the only question that really matters is, what do you think? Did Chrissy Lampkin really deserve jail time for lying about her alleged affair with Camron? Or is she just another celebrity thrown under the bus by a system that loves watching women fall? Was this justice served, or a messy takedown of the Dipset empire, one scandal at a time? Is Jim Jones the real victim here? Or was he just the last to find out in a game where everyone else was playing dirty from day one? And let's not forget Camron, who somehow walked into court, dropped a verbal grenade, and walked out like he was headed to a Knicks game. Iconic or diabolical? You tell us. Because in a world where scandals become entertainment and truth is just another plot twist, one thing is for sure: this story isn't going away anytime soon. So drop your thoughts, your wildest theories, and your spiciest conspiracy takes in the comments below. Was Chrissy framed? Did Camron play her? Is Jim really done? And is DIPSET ... officially over? We're reading everything. And if you thought this was the messiest plot twist of 2025, boss, you better hold on to your phone, because we're just getting warmed up. Smash that like button if you live for this kind of chaos. Share this video with your fellow scandal lovers. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. From courtroom meltdowns to explosive betrayals, this channel is your front row seat to the scandals Hollywood hopes you'll forget. We're here to remind you every single time. Until next time, keep your popcorn ready, because drama, it never sleeps.